I just got CarPlay working in my Kia K900. You can probably tell from the interior this is indeed a K900. Mine's is a 2016 edition, and through this kit I got CarPlay working in my K900. But with the touch of a button, I can go back to the stock system. However, with this kit, I also got Android Auto and USB Media. USB Media, the only thing with USB Media is it's just a flash drive. You can plug in a flash drive into this kit and load it with video and audio files, and through USB Media you can play those. But my reason for getting this was CarPlay, and also benefit of this kit was it's wireless CarPlay, so my phone's not plugged in, but I could still go ahead and use the CarPlay functionality. And there it is, the music is playing. I can go ahead and click on Spotify, that's where I'm playing it from. Click on non playing, there's my music. And that's basically what I wanted to show you, is CarPlay working in a 2016 Kia K900. Through this video I'll go ahead and show you like what the kit is, how I installed it, and any kind of try to answer any kind of questions you might have of what this and how I did this. But yeah, CarPlay working in a Kia K900. Alright, so this is the kit from car4play.korea, and it's the HDGN 2017 TDC3, and this is the K-Play. This is the one that has the CarPlay and Android Auto. You can see the USBs where we would connect Android Auto. CarPlay is wireless, so that's where we have these two antennas. This is all that comes with the kit. So the LVDS cable is the one that matters, because this is the one that will hijack the screen. That would be plugged into this guy right here, and that's why we have a LVDS in, LVDS out. And HDMI cable is used to connect these two boxes together. We have our two antennas that will be on the K-Play. This is a USB to female USB, male to female. This would be to extend the USB that's on the K-Play to get it extended out of the dashboard so you can plug in your Android phone for Android Auto. And this cable right here is the touch cable, which connects this box with the K-Play box, so you can use your touchscreen controls. Like my dashboards, mine is a touchscreen, so I can touchscreen interact with CarPlay. Other than that, then you have your harness cable, which is right here. This connects to the behind the screen, then connects it back into the screen, and the other side right here would connect into this box. And out of this we have a few cables coming out. One of the cables would be this one right here, which is this guy, and this guy is meant for the Korean cars, but apparently in the US this plug doesn't plug into anywhere in the back of the car. So they told me I could go ahead and plug this power cable into it, which this cable right here, this power cable, powers the K-Play box. So that would be plugged into there, so I can pull power out of that and give power to the K-Play box. This gets power off of the actual harness. Aside from that, we have these two cables. Now what these two cables are is to activate K-Play and either activate the stock screen. So it flips in between, and these go into the CAN bus, high or low. Right now it's connected into the CAN bus and the behind the dashboard, and we'll go ahead and show you how that is. And if you don't want to do this, it does come with a button that would plug into the harness right here, I think into this plug right here. I tried it, really didn't work for me, so I just plugged it into the CAN bus, and I'll show you which pins I plugged it into. So if that's what you guys want to do, if you end up getting this device, you'll be able to know where it plugs into. I've already tested it, it's working fine. There is one flaw though. This kit did not come with a LVDS extension cable. And why I need a LVDS extension cable is we'll show you when I get behind the dashboard. The one that's plugged into the screen is a right angle, and for that, if you plug it into the in port, then you can't plug the straight one. This where is it? this straight LVDS plug can't plug in alongside the right angle one. And if I plug in the right angle one over here, the other side of the right angle one is a black plug. This is a white plug, so that also matters too. So if you do end up wanting to get this kit, you have to open up your dashboard first to determine which plug is plugged into the back of the screen, so you know which board you want to get. I got the white board because behind my screen is a white LVDS cable. So that one, it comes out of the radio and goes into the screen. Inside the radio it's black, but inside the screen it's white. And that matters because there's a little notch, if you can see right here on the right hand side, there's that little notch. And even on the cable, the notch is on the left hand side because it's opposite, right? And that matters because you can't just plug in a different cable into there. And I need an extension for the input because the one that comes out of the radio needs to go into the box. That way I can go ahead and plug this one output and plug the output into the screen so I can hijack the video signal, right? I reached out to CarPlay and they're working on an extension cable and they'll send that out to me. Whenever that comes in, I'll go ahead and update it in the description, and I'll put an image to what that cable looks like. All it's going to be female on one side and male on one side. It's just going to extend this port out so I can plug in the right angle one into it. But until then, I went ahead and jerry-rigged something, which is this wire right here. This one would plug into here, and I'll plug in this side over here. Let that focus. Plug in that side into the actual cable that's behind the screen. So I'm just going to jerry rig it for now so I can get it all up and running until whenever they send me the actual cable out, and then I'll go ahead and update the description when that cable comes in. But until then, this is the kit, and then we're going to go ahead and show you where this CAN bus cable plugs into the back of the dashboard. Alright, so this is the dashboard of the K900. This kit that I'm talking about, it can work in the K900 and the Genesis G80. For the G80, it's in the G80 Ultimate Edition. It could also work in a K7, which is a Kia Cadenza. It also works in the regular G80s, the Genesis G80s. I'll link their website in the description so we'll know. You guys could go ahead and check which models they support. They do not support the K900, but because the K900 uses the same exact entertainment system as the Hyundai Genesis G80, I'm able to use this kit on this car, and I have already tested it working and everything good to go. So to take the dashboard off of a K900, you use one of these tools, and you would pry all the way down here. So don't pry into this one right here. There's this plastic, and then there's an LED down here that comes built in with the car. You would take this and pry all the way down here. Now I've already pried open the dashboard, but I could show you, like, this is how it comes out. So you would pry down here, you'd pry all the way up here, and then around here. So over by this, if you come in closer over here to the right here behind the steering wheel, you'll see that this little piece, so you need to move the steering wheel down so you can take this little piece out, and then you could go ahead and easily just remove the dashboard. I do have so the wires that are plugged in there will be two of these wires, one on this side and one on this side. All these wires are to power these LED strips down here, and then there's three wires behind here to power these controls right here. I'll go ahead and take those wires out so I can take this dashboard out for you guys. Alright, so taking those three wires out, we have our dash panels removed. So it's just this one whole panel, and these are like the clips that I'm talking about. So you'd have to, try to pry in down here, and there's the LED light bar that I'm talking about, and those two LED plugs, one plugs over here, one plugs over there, and there's three wires for these control, and this whole entire unit comes out. So putting that aside, now you can see the entire dashboard that's open. And we're going to go ahead and get this kit installed, and I'll show you guys how it works and what's plugged into what. But that was simply how to take out the dash panel and then get access to it. Now, to take this screen off, there's just 4 screws right behind the screen. We'll go ahead and pull this screen out. Now, I've already installed this cable. This is the CAN bus, CAN high, CAN low cable. It's plugged in behind. There's a unit behind the screen that it's plugged into. So I'm gonna go ahead, and once I take the screen off, I'll go ahead and show you guys what it's plugged into. This cable is actually needed for changing between the stock radio and the CarPlay. So I'll go ahead and show you. The kit does come with the button. The button is meant for the Kia Cadenza. I'm not sure if it could be used on other models like the K900 or the Genesis G80. I tried it, did not work for me, so I went ahead and used the canvas cable. And now when you click the volume, if you go ahead and click the end call, it'll go ahead and flip between, just long hold the end call, and it'll flip between the stock radio and the CarPlay. Alright, I went ahead and took out the screws behind the screens, and I'm going to go ahead and show you what's plugged in behind the screen. So behind the screen, we have our LVDS cable plugged in right here. We have the screen harness plugged in right here, and I think this is just a grounding cable. This honestly doesn't have anything, it just comes off like that. It's probably just a grounding cable. But here's the LVDS, and I'll show you that it is a right angle. So I have a jerry rig setup that I'm going to do with this, but the Car 4Play guys are going to send me an actual extension cable for this. So we're going to go ahead and use the extension cable when it comes in. I'll update the description when that extension cable comes in, and I'll post a photo of how that extension cable looks. All it is just one of these, it's just going to be one of these cables. These cables is going to be male on one side and female on one side. That's all it's going to be. It's just going to be this cable right here, male and female on one side. And that comes out, and then I'm gonna go ahead and take this harness out right here, just wiggle it out, and that just therefore takes the screen out. And now how it's gonna work is the harness that came with the kit, this harness right here came with the kit. This side's gonna go ahead and plug into the screen, and the one that we took off right here is gonna go ahead and plug into the harness over here. Right here we're gonna go ahead and plug in the cable that came with the kit, and that's gonna go into the out plug into the box. Here, let me show you. Here's the box. It's going to go into the out section of the box. So whatever is going to come out of here, it's going to go to out on the box, which is this one right here. The in one is going to be that right angle cable right here. But I have a jerry rig solution that I'm going to use to get it working for right now until Car 4Play sends me out that extension cable that they're working on. And then we're going to get it up and running today, and then I'll go ahead and swap that cable out whenever it comes, but I'll update the description. And then we're going to go ahead and set it up and plug it back in. But now what I really want to show you is this cable right here. And this is the CAN bus high-low cable. There's not a lot of information that I found on this online. And I had these instructions that was sent to me from some other kit that I was looking into, and they talked about this too, where to plug this in. And right here you can see that I have them plugged in right here into this box right here. This is the unit assist iBox. Not sure what it totally is. It's plugged into these two cables. Let me go ahead and unplug this. I'll show you the physical actual cables that it's plugged into. It is plugged into these two right here. These guys right here. So I suspect red is into red and blue is into green. And this therefore lets me use the on the steering wheel, it lets me use the call end, just long press the call end, and that'll let me switch between using the stock radio or using CarPlay. It'll go ahead and flip between them, and that's what this cable does. The kit, however, does come with a button. If you order the Kia Cadenza, Kia K5 one, it comes with this button, this clicker button that you can click in, and this button plugs into the actual box itself, so the harness of the box, so it'll plug into this wire right here. But because the box has settings between which car you're using the box on, and that matters actually, so don't buy the box if you don't know for sure 100% that it's going to work on your car. This is a K900 that we're using it on right now, but the box nowhere on their website says that it's going to work on a K900. However, the K900 uses the same exact entertainment system as the Genesis G80. G80 Ultimate, because this is a 9.2 inch touchscreen, so it uses the same one as the Hyundai Genesis G80, and so that's why I risked it out of the kit, and it worked for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and use it, install it, and it's gonna be perfectly fine. I've already tested it out working, and so that's why this button, it really matters if it's gonna work on you or not, because the actual box has some settings, and I'll post all the manuals and stuff, any kind of documentation I have, I'll post it in the description. So these buttons, these switches, they matter what position they're on, because in certain positions they don't work on this screen, but the position I have it right now works for my K900. And also the rear camera works too, so if I put the car in reverse, it'll flip out of CarPlay, go back to the stock, and show me the rear camera. So that's all working, tested, good to go with this. So all right, we'll go ahead and install it, and then I'll show you where all these plugs and everything that's plugged in, and show it to you working, and then we'll be good to go to, you know, set it up. Alright, so I've wired everything up. So here's the microphone. I brought it all the way to this side. It's just an aux cable 3.5mm jack. And I've wired it from back here behind the speedometer, behind all this. So that's the only reason why I opened all this up, is to route that all the way back here. Now I put all my boxes and stuff. It's a jungle of wires right now, but I'll clean that up later. That's something after the fact. I've wired them all into the glove compartment box. That's where I'm gonna put them all. And I took the screen off. I took this entire unit out so I can get the wires through there. So it's much easier. Like in this section right here, there's a little gap that lets you get the wires across into the glove compartment box, right? And here's the aux cable that I used. So I didn't use the one that came with the kit. I used a higher quality one. I just bought this off of Amazon, much higher, thicker wire, and I plugged that in there. And it's inside the box. I have it plugged in with a noise isolator. It's a little the little black box right there. You see that black box? What that does is it isolates the noise so that it kills out the static, so it's much cleaner noise. And now let me show you behind this guy how the wiring looks. You can see right here, this is the wire that came with the kit. It's going that way. Here's the harness plugged in. This is just that ground wire. And it's going over to that side, right? And there's nothing plugged in behind the radio itself. The radio itself is all the stock wiring. Nothing's changed in the radio. And the CAN bus wires right here. You can probably see that black, the blue and red wires right there. And everything is coming over here, and that's all there is to it. It's just because this car is so tightly insulated, there's barely any room to get anything in there. So I pulled apart the entire dash to go ahead and route all the wiring, and I brought it all down to here into the glove compartment box. And I'm just gonna, you know, fix out the wiring in the glove compartment box. And that's mainly it. I'm going to go ahead and start up the car and go ahead and show you the CarPlay working, how it works, and what I mean by the long pressing the volume, not the volume, sorry, long pressing the call end button, this one right here. But let's go ahead and start the car up. So it starts up with the stock interface, and it's going to go to the aux interface when it starts up, because the aux wire is plugged in, and that's by default, that's what it goes to. It takes a while to load. It's just how this entertainment system is. It does that sometimes it loads instantly. But what I do want to show you is the wire over there, that jerry-rig, that basic wire that I made at home. See how it's plugged into that right angle one, and then it comes and plugs into the box. So that's just my little jerry-rig wire. Now the cool part is, like, because I brought the wiring over here, all I need to do is whenever the Car4Play guys send me the extension cable, I'm just gonna open up my glove compartment and just plug and play right there. That's all there is to it. All right, so now I'm here. I'm on the aux screen, but as you can see, I can touch around and I can go to like the map and navigation, whatever. This is all stock, the stock car settings, whatnot, right? And I'm gonna go navigation aux, because that's how the audio from the CarPlay box is gonna come into the car through that aux cable. Now right here, watch, I'm gonna long press this. Let me get a wider shot so I can see the whole screen and that button. So when I press, there we go. I'm gonna hold it, and boom, CarPlay. And I could go ahead and touch around in CarPlay. I'm going to go ahead and go to the home page. This is the CarPlay screen. So you have Android Auto, you have USB media. So if I were to plug into like a USB device inside the CarPlay box, I can watch movies, audio, anything off of that. This is CarPlay settings. Really not much in here, just language, volume controls. So yeah, if you do have any issues with the volume, make sure that this is at 100%. Settings right here. I have wireless CarPlay turned off right now because I'm just testing it, but yeah, turning that back on. And here's the antennas. This is how the antenna looks, and this antenna is going to connect to the CarPlay box, and it'll give a better signal for the wireless CarPlay. But I have it turned off right now because I'm just testing it right now. And let's go back, go to CarPlay. Oh, and the touch is kind of finicky on this, but to set the touch screen up, you should see it in the documentation, but you hold the screen for like 10 seconds and it'll go into like a touch screen configuration mode where you like tap the crosshair and it like configures the touch screen. But sometimes it's kind of finicky, but it works for most of the time for what I need. And I can go ahead and play this. Oops. Let's play the song. And that's it. That's mainly it. Like, everything's working. I'll go ahead and plug everything back in and give another video of like it all clean set up, but mostly that should be it. Once I clean everything up, get all the wiring done, everything should be good to go. I tested the microphone out. Microphone's good to go too. It's right here. Now it just depends on where I want to mount it or anything, but that's secondary to what we just did right now. But yeah, pretty cool. Got CarPlay working out. Just long press that button, go back into this screen. And let me go ahead and show you guys putting it into reverse. I'm going to put the parking gear into reverse. Well, that's a drive, but reverse. See how it automatically changes to the screen? I go ahead and put it into drive. It'll automatically go back into CarPlay, which is meaning it goes back into Alright, so I put everything back together. The entire dashboard is all cleaned, clicked back in. Everything's clicked back in. Speedometer, and I got CarPlay on this screen. If you can see over here, we have the microphone on this side. I can show you right there. This is the microphone, so we have it plugged in right here. That's working perfectly fine. Just tested the audio. Everything's plugged back in, like, it's all good to go. Like, I can flip between the real radio right here and then like whatever I need to do over here, which is really nothing. I'm just gonna leave it on aux right here. That's where the audio is coming out of this aux cable. We got it fitted through here, so there's like a little flap right here that we could send the cable through that little flap, so that's what we did over here. But yeah, I'm just back on aux, and I'm just gonna go here and boom, CarPlay, play blue or whatever, and here's the home, go to the home and Android Auto, whatnot. I've already talked about this, but here's where I put all the main stuff, and that's where I threw everything in there, all the wiring and all the setup. And like I said, I'm still using that little jerry rig wire that I created myself at home, but whenever the official wire comes in, I'm gonna go ahead and plug that wire in there. Everything should be good to go. And like I said, like this little box right here, do get one if you end up wanting to get this, because it's really staticky if you don't have this little box. And I'll link it in the description below so you guys can find it off of Amazon. But what all this box does is it filters out the audio, cleans it out, so it's not staticky or anything, and everything works good. I've already tested a call. Like here, let's I can show you like the mic working. Well, it's working off of
Still working.
Yeah, it's okay. It's working off of LTE data, so it's really not going to be that great. But yeah, everything's working fine. We're good to go. Like, I can click around Google Maps I have there. You can go ahead and use the other maps, but that's it. Mainly good. We're good to go. Alright, so while editing this video, CarPlay was able to get me out the extension cable that I was talking about before. Like I talked before in this video, I was using this cable, plug this side into this LVDS over here, and plug the female side, this side over here, into the box right there in the LVDS section, right? But during the editing of this video, they were able to send me out a actual full cable. So this is male on this side, and it's male on this side. However, alongside this cable came this little doohickey thingy. So it's female on both sides, right? And it's all it is just LVDS white on a little PCB board. And what this is going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plug it into one side of this cable, thus turning that into a female connection, right? And then I could connect this right angle LVDS, and then that'll allow me to connect this side into the little box, then I can go ahead and have my whole connection set up where that cable is doing right there is pulling the stock video signal and giving it to the box, and the box could go ahead and give it to the screen. And that's all I was achieving with this little cable, this little jerry rig cable right here. But now I'm gonna be able to do it with this. And I would highly recommend, if you guys do end up getting this set up, getting this box for either your Genesis or your Kia, you can go ahead and use this cable, this little jerry rig cable, but I would highly recommend getting in touch with CarPlay and getting an actual like extension cable if you have that whole right angle issue that I had with mine, so if you have this whole issue, I would just honestly get in touch with them, try to get this extension, another cable in this extension thingy, so therefore you can get yours set up with a cleaner video signal. Because with this, over like a few hours, like the video signal is getting all messed up, because this is not that high quality of a cable. This just came out of like an Arduino kit, so there's really not a high quality cable, and that's why this little thing, I had it plugged in. I just tested it, and it makes a much cleaner of a video signal. Another little tip I wanted to share is this little wire that I found on Amazon. It's a radio signal extension wire, like the Wi-Fi antenna signal extension wire, and this is like it's a 10-foot wire, because this antenna that came with the kit, it's pretty short, so there's not that far away that you can put it from all these electronics and all these boxes. So I have like one taped right there, and I don't know if you can see it, but I have like one taped on up there. But then there's all these electronics right here, and there's that electromagnetic field. And what I did notice was I was having some issues with my GPS not tracking precisely. So this is a little thing that I bought. It's just an extension cable. So I'm gonna get in the car, and I'm gonna move these antennas to someplace else. And I'll go ahead and link this guy in the description. It comes in a pack of 2, and which is obviously very good, because there's 2 antennas on this. So all this guy's gonna do is extend this wire, so I can go ahead and put these antennas elsewhere in the car. I'm not sure that'll fix my problem, yes or no, but it'll let me get these Wi-Fi antennas away from all these electronics, and they're producing their own electromagnetic field, so I'll have much cleaner signal. So hopefully that fixes what I was experiencing with my GPS not updating accurately. So I'll go ahead and update the description if these wires do end up fixing that issue. But another little thing that I wanted to update, you can get these off of Amazon. They're fairly cheap, like $12. Get a pack of 2 of them, and it'll extend this Wi-Fi signal, so a Wi-Fi cable, so you can put it wherever you want.